The State Department is pausing indefinitely any processing of visas from 75 countries as part of a crackdown on immigrants the Trump administration says are using public benefits. Here to break down this major decision is The Hill's deputy managing editor, Sarakshi Rai. Hey, Sarakshi, so what can you tell us about some of the countries on this list and when this pause will take place?
That's right. This pause is coming up pretty soon. It will take place, on January 21st onwards. And what we're seeing is that the State Department in a new memo has issued a list of 75 countries that include countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan, Thailand, Iraq, Iran, Russia, Venezuela. We've also seen countries like Kuwait on there. So basically what's happening is that the State Department has said that it's revamping its vetting procedures. And until that happens, is going to pause any and all visa processing from these countries, Drew.
The State Department noted in its announcement that the pause was meant to prevent the entry of foreign nationals who would take welfare and public benefits. The Trump administration has been hinting at this crackdown for months. What can you tell us about the public charge provision that they're using to justify this?
That's right, Drew. So the public charge provision in U.S. immigration law allows for the denial of visas or green cards if an applicant is deemed likely to become primarily dependent on the government for subsistence, which is mainly through cash aid or long-term government-funded institutional care, right? So the current rules focus on cash benefits and they include, many non-cash benefits like food stamps, housing assistance, Medicaid. And, so traditionally, this determination has involved assessing factors like age, health, income, education, what their job might be when they come here. And all of this is with the goal of preventing immigrants from becoming a burden on taxpayers. We also know that recent Trump-era proposals have aimed for broader officer discretion. We've seen a lot of denials of visa under the Trump administration as well. Recent numbers this week showed that almost 100,000 visas have been denied under the Trump administration. So what we're seeing essentially is that, the Trump administration really cracking down on the issuance of this visa. We've also seen the battle with H-1B immigrant visas kind of ramp up with a lot of legal challenges already in the works for that one as well, Drew.
And this crackdown on immigrants who may be getting benefits comes as the Trump administration hones in on this welfare scandal in Minnesota. Has the White House hinted as to whether this announcement may be connected to that?
We've seen a lot of comments from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt as well as the president. We know that one of the countries on this list is Somalia, which has drawn heightened scrutiny from federal officials following this sweeping fraud scandal, which is centered in Minnesota, where prosecutors uncovered massive abuse of taxpayer-funded benefit programs. Now, many of those involved are Somali nationals or Somali Americans. We also know that White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said that the Trump administration is reviewing cases for denaturalization of U.S. citizens who came to the country from Somalia and who were convicted of fraud in this Minnesota social services controversy, right? And we also know that the Trump administration is terminating the temporary protected status for Somalis living in the United States as well, giving hundreds of people just 2 months to leave the country or face deportation. So Somalia is definitely on this list because of the recent moves that have taken place by the administration to really crack down on those nationals living in the country, Drew.
And as we frequently ask with announcements that come from the Trump administration, could this announcement face the possibility of legal roadblocks here in the future?
That is entirely unclear. When it comes to the issuance of certain immigrant category visas, we've seen some legal challenges really put in place, or the revocation of naturalization, or the revocation of green cards, right? In the US, we've seen those legal challenges take place. But for all intents and purposes, the issuance of any visa to foreign nationals coming to the United States is at the discretion of the United States. So essentially, it will be interesting to see if there is any legal basis for this, that those people who oppose these moves can really come out and fight the Trump administration on it. But, it is the discretion of the country issuing the visa as of right now, Drew.
All right. Always great to have your insights, Sarakshi Rai. Thank you.